Hiya, and welcome to Cleaved. I have played a little bit of this game, not a whole lot, but a little bit of it. You know, as an excuse to not pay attention in class. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Warning, warning, danger detected. Alarm raised in lab sublevel 3, something, I didn't read all of that. Warning, warning, danger. I'm forcefully awoken from sleep as I hear the alarm ringing off in the distance. An incessant siren to notify all personnel on site of an imminent accident. I fall off the bed scrambling to grab some clothing and quickly slip it on, covering myself with a shirt and trousers, getting my glasses from my bedside table. I quickly slip on my canvas shoes, finally running to the door and grabbing my lab coat as I step outside of my cramped room. While the university may have been large, it was not generous with its student housing. Thankfully, it didn't take me long to rush past the security doors and other frantic students and personnel who were either trying to escape the premises or direct the flow of traffic out of the building. Most students took the instructions easily. Unfortunately for me, I'm not most students. I'm not like other girls. Bitch, I'm not like other girls. I am exactly like most girls. Not because I'm basic as hell. Unfortunately for me, I'm not most students. My fellow students can only imagine what kind of scientific mishap has set off alarms at our prestigious university. I am more inclined to prove my theories right. The students of Rockford Hills are hand-picked by the dean of the university, and as they seek gifted individuals and cultivated projects with the greatest potential. I am fortunate enough to count myself amongst these students, and even more fortunate that my chosen field of research is one that has received a lot of press from both my colleagues and my professors. I was happy to have my colleagues be so interested in the success of my project. However, it quickly turned into a necessity rather than a passion. Over the years, my work became less about furthering my own ideas and more about others deciding the direction of my research. What started as a noble intent to help humanity quickly turned into a set of deadlines that I needed to meet in order to please corporate backers. As miserable as I have been, falling more and more into this pit that they created with this constant need to tick their little checklists, I was happy to know that it was nearly done. This knowledge made the current situation all the more infuriating as a second I thought I was finally onto something, my work was literally about to blow up in my face. Yay! I finish my long run from the east side of the student housing and finally make it to the physics center. Looking around the open foyer, I saw nothing but scattered papers and flipped over office equipment. The building had been completely evacuated. Oh, fuck. Well then, where's Leonard Hofstadter? If we are anime Sheldon Cooper, where the hell is Leonard Hofstadter? Where is gay furry Leonard Hofstadter? Where's Howard? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember his name. Something Howard. Howard something. Koothrappali. If this is the Big Bang Theory, I don't know. Come on, I have to make it! No. That was my mom. I shout at myself as I make it to the elevator door, slamming my fist into the panel to call the lift down to my level. I enter the code for sublevel 3. Shit. As redundant as that word is, It's all I can say is I'm faced with the sight before me. Oh, fuck, it's Gygus. Oh, fuck. It's Gygus. The fuck are you doing here? I thought you were an Earthbound. What the fuck are you doing in this visual novel, Gygus? Before me stands my machine, a device that I had constructed with the intention of exploring the furthest edges of reality. As I had suspected, something had gone wrong. How did this happen? I made sure to shut it down. There shouldn't be power in any of the segments. Yeah, Gygus, the final boss of Earthbound. I can only watch in horror as I see loose objects begin to be yanked into the air and get consumed by the ever-growing expanse of a wormhole. Okay, shit, gotta find the emergency shutdown switch. It's the only thing that could override whatever is powering... My thoughts are immediately interrupted as I see some of the ceiling fall down and be pulled into the portal. Shit! It's getting stronger! My careful planning is replaced by frantic movements as I try to deactivate my machine. The longer I take, the worse it'll get. I rush over to the main console and unlock the generator room. Pushing myself inside, I attempt to shut down the machine's primary power supply. Who turned on the auxiliary power? The machine had emergency backup power in the event of a blackout. This was so it could draw the necessary power during tests, though it's always left off when it's not being used. However, I'm left with a sinking feeling of dread as I see that the emergency power had been turned on. I burst into a sprint to the circuit breaker. Gripping the handle, I wrench it down to shut down the machine. Nothing happened. The machine was still sparking, creating alert after alert. Warning, warning, danger detected. We're gonna die. We're all gonna die. Ew, a butterfly. I retreat to the main console, slumping down. Was that Pac-Man? I swear to God, I can hear Pac-Man sounds. I retreat to the main console, slumping down in defeat as I stare at the marvel I created, now the image of a nightmare. I can't stop the pending catastrophe. The wormhole has accumulated too much power. With nothing left to do, I stare into the cause of my imminent demise. My mind wanders off in a string of thoughts. How big is the explosion going to be? If I ran away, would I even get far enough to escape it? Am I going to die? The last thought sends a shudder down my spine as I can't help but cry. Through blurry vision, I look around the room, thinking back to all the memories I made with my colleagues. I think back to how Wally darling? Wally would tell me his ideas on how to design global telecommunications that would not rely on satellites. I remember how Caitlin would show me her progress on genetically engineered bacteria to aid brain development and controlled mutation. She said it was her attempt at curing diseases. And then there was Sanders. Never spoke to him much, but he was a true scientist. The crazy bastard was doing his best to combine various elements to see if it was possible to create an infinitely renewable clean energy source. Ah, shit, we're going to hell. Fuck. Well, bye. I remember when I met everyone. It was a big series of hellos and handshakes. Except for Sanders. His first words to me were, I understand that we'll be working in Lab 16 together. My work is very dangerous. I requested there be a lockdown button installed on the inside and outside of this lab. It will lock down the room in the event of an explosion. The materials are designed to absorb kinetic energy, so while there's no guarantee, it should help. Why is there one on the inside? In case you can't get out and need to make the sacrifice play. You can't change someone else's life unless you're willing to sacrifice your own. Wise words, Sanders. A bit pessimistic for my liking, but wise words nonetheless. I'm shaken by a heavy scratching sound. I duck out of the way as I watch the catwalk be torn from its hinges and drag itself across the floor toward the portal. I guess I don't have a choice. Sanders' mantra comes to the forefront of my mind. I dry my tears, snapping myself back to reality and steeling my resolve. While there may be no guarantee, if I can at least engage the lockdown, I can hope there is a chance of stopping it. I use the desk as braces as I force myself over to the wall. Warning, reactor overload collapse imminent. Yay! Into the Spider-Verse! Woo! Great! I make one final push and slam my fist on the lockdown button, watching metallic shutters drop across the doorways, windows, and walls, effectively sealing me in. Reactor overload. Yay! Death. In this case, the Furry verse. Oh, shit. It's cold. Wait. It's cold? Why is it... How... Huh. So by starting off the reactor's power system early, you got involved to try and stop it, and you set off a new chain of events. Hey, wait a second! Are you awake? Wow. I was not expecting that. Wow. Okay. Listen, I don't mean to interrupt whatever this is, but I need you to do something for me. Before you doze off, I need you to remember your name. What was it again? Hi, my name's Jeff. No, Snow, we're going with the default. Bryn. So that's what your name is. It's been so long, I honestly couldn't remember. Regardless, I don't really care for much else, nor do I know what's about to happen to you. However, this should be interesting to watch. So, don't die too quickly. Fuck you. I open my eyes and take a look at the strange place I'd found myself in. Ah, shit, we're in space. Fuck. I'm still not entirely sure what happened. I engaged the lockdown in time, then the reactor exploded and I saw a bright light. I could feel the throbbing in my head as I struggled to remember what my now-conscious brain could recall. Damn it, what the hell happened? The explosion should have killed me, but I'm here, wherever the hell here is. It felt pointless to think of it. I looked down at my body. My tattered clothes revealed not the slightest hint as to why I was still alive. And then I felt it. My breathing hitches. The sensation of cold grasping my body combined with my own anxiety. I couldn't think. I was hyperventilating. The numbing cold was unbearable. It felt like death. Come on, keep it together, damn it! I could only imagine this was a nightmare, potentially the delusion of my fracturing psyche. We went boom into space! All I can think to do is repeat the bits of information I knew to keep it together in this strange place. I pull the tattered remnants of my lab coat together, trying to find some kind of warmth as I feel reality return to normal speed again. I can't fight off the cold dread any longer, and I lose consciousness. Oh shit! Oh shit! This is some Kingdom Hearts bullshit, and I love it. Are we in the Gummyverse? I stir. I hear the strange sounds of birds? Hey, Terry, you want some? This bitch empty! Yeet! Birds. I wake up and launch myself up onto my feet. Immediately regretting my choice of actions, lightheaded, I fall to my knees, using my hands to stabilize myself on the ground. Trying once again, only this time much slower. I stand up and look around confused. I'm in the clearing of a forest. Are we in the Kokiri forest? How the fuck are we alive? Seeing the sun in the sky shining through the gap in the canopy above me was comforting. I'm just gonna zoom in. The nightmare of being trapped in that cold space, which had felt so real, now felt like an illusion. However, that cold place, was any of it real? And if so, why can't I remember why I'm in these woods? Panic once again sets in as I climb up the bank of the crater. No, we're not Houdini. We are Philip J. Fry from Futurama. We survived because, plot armor. Yeah. What Damien Dason 45 said. What he said. Plot armor. Wow. I remember watching Futurama back in 2010. I feel old. And I'm not even that old. I feel the grass pressing up against my skin, a nice break from the feeling of nothingness that surrounded me before. The air is cold. It's not unbearable, but given the current state of my clothes, they don't do much to keep me warm. Hey man, sometimes I wish I lived under a rock. Genuinely, I sometimes wish I did. Fucking 2013 My Little Pony is a downward spiral. Gee, thanks, ex-boyfriend, for introducing me to My Little Pony back in 2013. Gee, thanks for that. I totally don't regret my decision. I totally don't regret that decision. The air is cold. It's not unbearable, but given the current state of my clothes, they don't do much to keep me warm. Okay, I need to get my bearings. I examine my glasses, checking the lens for damage. Damn, there's a slight crack, but I reckon I can still use these. Oh, wait. I begin to slap each of my pockets, eventually finding the hard rectangular shape in my right pocket. My phone! Thank God! I turn it on, ignoring the cracked screen until I notice the black blotches on parts of it. Damn, you really took a beating from that fall. Must have landed on it when I was in that hole. Could a slip really do that much damage? How hard did I hit the ground? Before my mind can race further, I decide to check out if my phone's apps are still usable. No signal. Fuck! I take a look around me, getting my bearings before heading in the direction I believed was north. With some luck, I could find a vantage point where I could get a signal, or see a building nearby. Maybe a cabin. Or, if I was lucky, I'd find out how far I strayed from the town. Or if I was really lucky, I'd find my dormant colleagues who could explain to me what in the hell just happened. Surely followed by their expression of how worried they were and questions of where the hell I'd been. But to my dismay, there was none of that. Ah, shit. What in the world is going on here? My panicked voice does nothing to hide my timidness as I sink back against a tree, fighting to catch my breath. Okay, calm down. I look out to the town in front of me. There's no way I'm chancing staying out in the woods for a night in this place, wherever that may be. To avoid falling over, I carefully make my way down the hill. And if I only could make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. You're running up that road, you're running up that hill, running up that building. And if I only could. The woodland brush was thick, the trees are large and overgrown. Evidence of the rich life they led was situated in these lands, providing cover for the shrubbery underneath to grow and develop into a lively ecosystem. It was rather peaceful, save for my own panting cutting across the sounds of nature. I could see my breath appear in front of me with each thick exhalation. It was a reminder of just how cold it truly was. I really need to get something warmer. These tattered sleeves were not going to last in these conditions. It was only a matter of time before the sun would set. Okay, I can agree with SpongeBob. I also sometimes watch SpongeBob. Like early I don't okay, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent, but I always do that, so like it's normal. In my opinion, early SpongeBob was fucking amazing. Like from season 1, I think up to like season 5, possibly season 10 at the latest, SpongeBob was truly amazing.
Literally grew up with that motherfucker.
SpongeBob was truly amazing. Shut the fuck up, iCloud. It was amazing. The new shit, like, I can turn it on and watch it for like just to turn my brain off for a little bit. But like, nothing beats the old SpongeBob. Nothing beats it. It was only a matter of time before the sun would set, allowing the night to take over and dropping these harsh temperatures even more. I gotta move, otherwise I'll freeze! I exit the tree line and find a well-worn path that leads to the gate I saw from the hillside. I continue on with my walk, and I notice the city become closer and closer. The few shops and stalls they have outside these walls seem abandoned. My high school never did that. My high school paid for, like, 4K HDR ultra high definition TVs to hang up in the cafeteria for a fucking PowerPoint. I wish I was making that shit up. No one occupies them and there is no business out front, yet their equipment remains placed. Weird. Seeing no one at the gate, I press onward, walking through the old stonework. It's rather impressive to see such a creation. That's when my eyes turn wide as I see some of the pedestrians walking the streets. They were tall and hairy, with tails? My panic expression draws attention from a beast who's not 2 meters away from me. Gods of the realm, what is that? Guards! Guards, come quick! I immediately back away as I see a crowd form, mothers holding back their children, men giving me disgusted looks, and young lads who are simply puzzled. Oi, beast! You better have those disgusting paws of yours raised by the count of 3 or I'm going to get you! Excuse me, bitch, but I'm fabulous! I let out a gasp as I finally get a good look at these beasts' faces. Muzzles? Long fur, and in this case, a nasty, intimidating snarl, not unlike that of a wolf. As if on instinct, I follow their commands in a somewhat ironic scenario and quickly raise my hands to look less threatening. I watch them slowly press in, walking toward me in a driven way. Whoa, please, I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just lost and looking for... Does it look like we give a shit what you're looking for? On your knees, freak! You're going to the dungeon! I freeze up, honestly scared of what these men, these beasts, are going to do to me. In case it wasn't obvious, I don't take anything seriously. Hey! Before I can say any more, I'm interrupted by the loud, thundering sound of feet hitting the ground in rapid succession. I look to my right, and within seconds, a flash of orange streams past my eye. Fuck you, guard number 69420. We're the main character. That means we have plot armor. Oh, fuck you! A slim figure quickly jumps into the air and delivers a swift kick to one of the guards' faces, sending him back away from me. The other guard goes to rush this unknown person. He quickly presses his feet hard into the ground and launches himself backwards away from his pursuer into my direction. Hi! That's when I see that his feet were of no ordinary human, but instead a set of paws, different from the men who tried to arrest me. They're smaller and a different color. I take this opportunity to look up his slender frame. His long legs lead up to a muscular but heavily protected torso, a free-flowing tail that sits at his behind, and to top it off, a face that I could barely even get a glimpse of. I can see 2 pointed ears blazing in color, glorious like the sun itself as it contrasted the shroud. Listen, friend, I have no idea who you are, but I suggest you book it. He spoke quickly, perfectly intelligible, but with a sense of urgency that let me know I was in true danger if I stayed here any longer. I swear to God, I can't speak. Before I can even think about making a break for it, his arm falls down to his side and grabs something off his belt. Oh, okay. He raises it to the sky and throws it to the ground with considerable force. Ah, shit. Ah, fuck. Animation. My laptop's one weakness. It releases some sort of thick layer of smoke that covers the open space in seconds. Run! You even think about running, runt, and I will make sure that whatever the hell I was going to do to you earlier is 10 times worse! Fear quickly sinks in as I realize I was faced with a choice that could put my life in serious danger. Do I follow this unknown stranger in the hopes of securing shelter and maybe even finding my way back home? Or is it better to stay put and do what the guards ask of me, to avoid putting a target on my back? What should I do? Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? I'm going to create I'm going to create a save. Put it there, and now we're going to vote. Now we're going to vote. I forgot how to create a vote for like 3 seconds. How to create a poll for like 3 seconds. New poll. Alrighty. I don't think so. I think moderators can make polls. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about, like, giving 2 people. Of course, like, no, VIPs I don't think can make polls. I think they can basically do what a sub can do without, you know, being subscribed. You know, with ads. I am thinking about making a couple people moderators. I already have an idea on who they would be. And chances are, Stay is going to prison. Going is following the stranger. Ah, shit, we're staying. Fuck. Okay. We got it. I should redo that. I should redo it. Well, time to go to prison. You know what? Before I forget, I need to go to community, roles manager. Before I forget, actually, you know what? I will do it after stream. I did create a save. Yeah. The fuel of Theta is dumb shit. Yeah. For a moment, I consider following the stranger, but an overwhelming sense of fear keeps me grounded after hearing the guard's threats. I decide that my best course of action is to stay and raise my arms up in submission. The fox gives me a disappointing glance, but quickly turns tail and dashes off in the direction of an open alleyway. It's a marvel watching him take the form of an orange bolt and dash away effortlessly. As the smoke clears, I hear a strong stream of footsteps come up behind me as I'm tackled to the floor. Ah! I let out a pained grunt as the wolf dominates me. Ooh, kinky. He positions my hands behind me and ties them in a rope. Hey, I surrendered! Oh, shut up, runt. You really think we're gonna be easy on you after that whole display? You're one of those bastard yelfers, aren't you? Biophors? What is that? Gods, untrained and stupid! He pushes me in the direction of the open square. The other guard slowly approaches and takes position behind me, raising his spear. I don't know what any of you are talking about. I don't know who you people are. I don't know what a Bofur or whatever the hell that is. I don't even know where I am. Despite my persistence, I'm ignored. The spears lunged at me threateningly, so I'm made aware to move forward. Silence, prisoner! You've been warned of the consequences if you continue your current actions. We are not opposed to carrying through with them. On the suspicion of being a threat to the kingdom as either a spy or thief, you are under arrest. Ah, shit. My mind is racing and I'm worried about what's going to happen to me. The shouting from these two begins to draw a crowd, and I look around as many people, different people, begin to stare. Some are cheering, others looking in disgust, most of them at me, but I see a few hateful eyes in the crowd staring daggers at the guards. I watch as these people then begin to scream and come to my defense. Hey, leave him alone! There's no way he's any of those. If he's trained like you suspect, why would he panic and surrender? You can't keep treating people like this. Oh, shut up, the lot of you. The guards here are trying to keep us all safe. That's right. You don't know what that freak is up to. I look on in shock as I watch a fight break out. Citizens shoving and pushing, waiting for the first punch to be thrown. But before it can come to a head, another heavy stream of footsteps cut across the square and break up the interaction. Alright, that's enough. Everyone here disperse. I'll personally be fining all of you for disturbing the peace. A very large and portly wolf makes his way across the open square, walking slowly over to me. Nyo! Nyo! Nud! It screeches out... Oh no, he's hot! Oh, okay. It screeches out two names and I hear the guards shift behind me, standing to attention. Huskar! Skjold! It's good to see you, sir! How are you? It's fine. Silence, Dolfer! I watch as the taller of the two guards hushes himself and he goes back to a stance of respect. Begging me for months to finally let you have time in the inner city. We'll be good, sir. We'll do our rounds and report anything suspicious, sir. If we find there's Bjofer, we'll be sure to take them down. There's a long pause. And I let you. I thought you two were bright enough and ready to take charge of a situation like this to both impress and fulfill your responsibilities. But what did you do instead? The wolves' heads drop down in shame. You lost yourselves to your emotions when confronted with a potential invader and let panic spread throughout the district. You allowed yourselves to be outsmarted by the very thief you assured me you'd find and arrest. He looks at me. And you embarrassed yourselves by taking out your frustrations on an enemy who already surrendered, nearly causing a riot. Your actions affect all of us when you're on patrol, so act the way you've been trained. They utter a soft apology and hang their heads low. Report to the barracks and let them know I want Dagon Feldman patrolling this sector for the rest of the day. As for you two, we'll discuss your redeployment after I drop this creature off. Oh, okay. He grabs me by the shoulder and pulls me over to him. I'm both intimidated and impressed by his strength. Dismissed! I watch as the wolves slowly walk away and I'm left with this portly stranger. I don't trust you. But submitting like that and allowing us to carry out our arrest despite those boys' attitudes is a very good start. Well, you speak, don't you? I'm snapped away from my thoughts, realizing I should respond. Oh, my apologies. Yes, I can speak. I see. How do you speak our tongue, Erlander? I don't actually know. There are some words you say that I don't understand. Like the one you just said and the one the other wolves before said. I was under the impression you were speaking English. English? I'm not sure what moon speak you utter, Scully. But that's a funny word. I humor him with an awkward chuckle before asking. Then what language do you speak? We speak the words of the realm. My ancestors have been speaking this way for decades, but our language has evolved with the travel of my people. Perhaps we've settled in the lands of your home, and that's why you have the ability. Or you're a wise spy who's young for his profession. He smirks at me and I let out another awkward chuckle, before cutting myself off with a sharp exhale. Ugh! I look down, only to see the damaged state of my legs and knees from the altercation. The sudden pain in my body is a clear indicator that, through my chat with the large wolf, my adrenaline must be fading away. Yes, that doesn't look good. Oh, sorry. Hindi ako nakakaintindi ng Ingles. Ito? Nakakaintindi ka ba ng Tagalog? I know very little Tagalog. Yes, that doesn't look too good. He grabs me again and puts himself behind me, holding my bound wrists. No hablo español. Yeah, you were speaking Spanish, I believe. Oh shit. Walk the way I tell you to and we'll be at Lake Near before you know it. What's that? Someone smart enough to treat the injured and heal ailments. Oh! Do you not have those where you come from, Erlander? Yes, we just have another name for them. And what might that be? Doctors. Ha! Another funny word. We begin to walk through the city streets. It's quiet. I look around at my surroundings. I was under the impression that this would usually be a more bustling market square. However, the various stalls and shops were practically abandoned, despite their full inventory of stock. I look up at the larger buildings that accompany the storefronts. They seem closed up, but every so often I see an occasional window cracked open ajar to look out into the street. I'm assuming it was to get a glimpse of the stranger walking their streets, or to give the townsfolk who try to defend me the opportunity to spy on the wolf next to me. Oh no. Try to pay them no mind. Can't exactly blame them for their curiosity. Likewise, I haven't exactly seen anything like you guys before either. It's nerve-wracking to see an area that should be dominated with people socializing to be so empty. I can hear the wind pass through the alleyways with no noise to buffer its echoes. No, don't tell me you're from that Catland shithole. Catland? The Western continent? He gives me a look both annoyed and surprised by my lack of knowledge. No, not from there. Don't even know where that is. Can't personally recommend it. If that's true, I'm glad to know you haven't got any ties with them. Heh, nice. He looks like he's taking a mental note as he strolls forward. Skjold, right? That's how I say it? I think I'm pronouncing that right. That's certainly not a bad first attempt. Your sk needs some work, but overall pretty good. Oh, alright. Was that another word that Wolf used to address you, a huskarl? He lets out a chuckle. Now that was a crap attempt. No, that word is a title. Huskarl. It's a word we use for generals and leaders who have certain responsibilities. Oh, that's interesting. I'm guessing your responsibilities are managing guards and overall safety of the city. Guessing that fight with those two made it pretty obvious, huh? He lets out a sigh through a smirk. They're not bad boys, you know. I'd be inclined to disagree with how my interaction went. I look down at my swollen knees swell from when I was tackled. They're young, and don't get me wrong, I'm not that old myself, and men in their position don't have that excuse. But they're being forced to grow up way too fast in these times. He hangs his head low, turning away from me as he continues walking. Mind if I ask why? He looks back at me, tilting his head as if contemplating what he should say. Oxheimer has had quite the rocky start since my ancestors settled here. Alright, I'm going to check something, because I'm curious about something. My cellular phone. Okay. Oxheimer? Close, but wait, have you even heard of this kingdom? I'd be lying if I said I did. Originally, my people were from the north. Harsh, icy conditions that made day-to-day life a struggle. Don't get me wrong, we weren't any less advanced than the other kingdoms in our status, but it was decided by our then-king that we needed to flee south with dreams of greener pastures. That's when we found this woodland village. I'm sure you saw the remnants outside of the old town before you passed through the gate. We settled into this town and slowly began to use our resources to build and improve the land. He is pretty cute. Okay, hang on. I gotta hydrate first. Yeah, I gotta hydrate. I gotta hydrate. Alright. So love me like you do, la la, love me like you do, love me like you do, la la, love me like you do, touch me like you do, touch me like you do. What are you waiting for? Okay. I did my best. Now that he mentions it, I do remember briefly seeing some disheveled woodland shacks and buildings decorating the main gate. They did look rather neglected compared to the houses inside the city walls. However, when a nation moves, it invites challenge. We've had noticeable pushback from both the civilians and rival kingdoms that had kept their eyes on this land since before I was born. Hiya. As a result, all our soldiers and politicians are on standby to deal with any rising conflicts. It's got a lot of people on edge, especially the younger wolves among our ranks. As he finishes, we round a corner and I watch shadows engulf the street from the setting sun. Must have lost track of time, reminiscing about history. He lets out a chuckle, slumping his head as he goes down an alleyway. I follow him. As we emerge from the alleyway, I watch the moonlight settle on the street. Hiya. The pillars and lamp posts that decorate it come to life by lighting up and enhance the moon's glow. The large wolf escorts me to a small cottage-style building away from the main street. He walks up to the door and gives it a hard knock. Vern! Do a fellow wolf a kindness and open the door, would you? Footsteps slowly approach the door and a much skinnier wolf opens it so we can step inside. Well, hello, old friend. Who's roughed you up so bad that you need to come and see the good old... Good gods! The wolf falls over and stares up at me. I flinch as he immediately gets back up to inspect me. What happened to you? Are you some kind of rat who was skinned for his pelt? Vern, relax. The large wolf pulls him back to put some distance between us, spinning me around so we can undo my ropes. Vern, the strange creature was found marching through the inner gate in the early hours of the morning. I don't know what he is, but my men have reason to believe he poses a threat as a spy. Oh, then why did you bring him here? A question I was wondering myself. He has been a model prisoner so far. No escape attempts, surrendering when told to do so, and answering questions when asked. I figured the least I could do is patch him up for the way he was treated earlier. That, and it's much harder to interrogate a corpse that died from an infection than it is a healthy living being. He lets out a hearty laugh, which Vern soon joins in. Meanwhile, I'm left to ponder on the statement of interrogation. Before I can speak, Vern spins around and instructs me to take a seat, which I do so. I give him a full view of my knees. As he instructs, I stretch out my hands so we can get a look at the skin that was used to brace my fall. Well, your paws... Wait, are these even called paws? No. Hiya. These are technically called hands. I see. So you weren't lying about the response to questions. He chuckles before assuring me they're fine, and then goes to lower to take a look at my legs. These'll heal up just fine, but just to be on the safe side. He grabs a bowl with a thick green concoction and begins applying it to my knees. It stings for a bit, which is noted with the swift exhale. It's quickly ignored as the doctor wraps up my legs in cloth. That's surprisingly modern. I should hope so. The medical system we have is something a lot of us wolves pride ourselves on. Why? What does your people's medicine look like? Also, what do your people look like? Oh, and what's your name? Give the Erlander a second there, Vern. Well, my name is Bryn, and I'm a human. Can't say I've ever heard of one of them before. Nor can I. The large wolf comes over to the conversation, now interested in my discussions. And, well, it differs a lot depending on what country or continent you visit. Our medicine uses a lot of scientific perspective to cure things. Yeah, our name is Bryn. Cypentific? Another strange word there, Bryn. But what does it mean? Apologies, it's more the act of using your mind to design things that can help solve current problems. Oh, so it's like being a scholar. Would you happen to be one of those? A medicinal scholar? Not in medicine, but more building and physical devices. I see. Looks like we don't have someone Holroar could use. Maybe we could pair you with Heim. He's smart and What Vern meant to say is that it's rare to see a traveling scholar in this day and age. Isn't that right, Vern? I swear to God, like, every single time Vern speaks and I'm reading out his lines, I just, like, do weird movements. Because it's fun. The wolf stands upright, realizing his ramblings have revealed something I shouldn't have heard. Yes, apologies. The awkward laugh fixed to his apology does little to quell my curiosity. I keep this in mind in the event that it could help me. Well, we'll be making a move if it's good to go. We still need to get him processed. Yes, please don't let me keep you any longer. You know the drill, Bryn. I stand up and turn around, placing my hands back so I can be rebound and escorted out. Yep. The rope goes on just as quickly as it came off. We step outside and I faintly hear him say goodbye to Vern. Hey, Skjold? Yes, who, man? That doesn't sound right. He tries to keep things calm, but my mind is preoccupied with this previous statement. Level with me. What's this interrogation going to entail? He sighs, preparing to say something, but stops himself. You hungry? I really want to get something to eat. He raises his paw and rests it on his gut, waiting for a response. No, not really, I'd rather... As I try to keep him focused, my stomach betrays me and lets out a mighty growl. If you'll humor me for a bit, I'll tell you whatever you want. Sound good? Fine. I let out a sigh as he leads the way. Surprisingly, the wolf takes me to a bakery of all places. He doesn't chat to the shop clerk too long and comes back with 2 long pieces of pastry. They're flaky and smell heavenly. He lifts it to my lips and I take a small bite. To be polite, an explosion of flavor hits my mouth and I greedily bite down again to get another mouthful. Oh, this is good! Skjold smirks but doesn't say anything. He just holds the pastry closer so I can finish mine off. Old woven recipe, flaky pastry with hazelnut, vanilla cream, and a dash of cinnamon. That actually sounds really good. He takes a bite of his pastry and continues. See, it's the little things I love about the city. The businesses, the people, our culture, all of it. It honestly means more than life itself to me. He stops to chew the mouthful of pastry he bit off. Because the history of my people has been a constant struggle to fight to find a place and finally be able to put a stake down to prove our existence. I'm taken aback by his sudden openness, but I listen intently. We haven't lived in Oxheimer for long, not compared to the other great cities. But we've come a long way in terms of expanding our ideals and improving this land so that we can keep up with the more advanced societies. There's another long pause before he continues. However, as you may or may not know, the peace of the realm is coming into question. With King Calder's ascension, hesitancy is spreading about his ability to rule. Travelers not from this region. He looks at me heavily as he says this. They face heavy scrutiny as spies for other nations that may see Oxheimer as weak and vulnerable to take over. Regardless of how sad it is to see. It is the surrender route. We are taking the surrender route right now. See, I started off as a reckless, headstrong wolf. Just like the 2 that tried to rescue this morning. But I grew tired of the monotony of treating people so harshly. Don't get me wrong, I still follow the procedure, as outlined by the people I serve under. But I'd like to think I have the ability to show basic kindness to anyone in these trying times. I mean it when I say you've been a model prisoner so far. Your cooperation, your honesty, all of these are signs to me that your story so far has been genuine, and you're just a man down on his luck. But I will not run the risk of my good assumptions of Erlander putting the people of the city at risk. That sounds like a lot. I'm sorry if it feels like there's a lot on your shoulders and that I don't know the full gravity of your situation. It certainly sounds stressful if nothing else. For what it's worth, I don't want to be any more of a burden on this place than I already have. Yeah, we're going to. Just do what you need to do to clear me and I'll be on my way. And where would you go? Back home or I don't know. I don't know where I am. All I remember is that yesterday I was at my university and then I woke up in the woods. I'd like to say that I partied too hard and got lost walking home, but I'm not like that. I can't even think about what happened without getting a headache, and that kind of scares me, because it feels like for the first time in my life, I don't know what to do. You passed the test. I'm sorry. You passed the test. My interrogation. But it didn't even... You didn't need to. Not directly, at least. I'm a large wolf, Bryn. I run internal affairs, designate the squad. Search and scout regiments. It creates this image of me being an easy target for a fight or for getting information out of. However, it's what you don't see which makes it surprising. I watch his ears flicker. Every spy I've met has a tell. Sometimes their heartbeat picks up slightly when they get a piece of valuable information. Your heart rate hasn't spiked once since your arrest earlier today, and I personally blame the adrenaline for that. That, and from personal experience, spies and assassins always have their story rehearsed. They stick to it bluntly, occasionally adding details so they keep their emotions in check. Meanwhile, you're on the verge of tears and can't even remember how you got here. He hops up and gestures with his paw to do the same. I quickly stand up and he leads me down what looks like one of the main streets. I've been handling the transfer of Erlander for some time now, so when we get to the holding I'll be passing on the report to the king and council. They'll ultimately decide what will happen to you, but at the very least they'll have my recommendation. Though a bit of advice, Bryn, you currently hold some information that may be able to drastically improve their decision.
Oh no, he's hot!
And what would that be? How truthful you were with me when you said you were a scholar? I mean, I was building something tech-related when I was at my university. Then I'll advertise the traveling architect who may be able to assist with the city's current architectural issues. He lets out a hearty laugh before I can interject. If the king's impressed, he'll owe you favor. That could be a way of finding out how to get you home. That was actually a really logical argument, something I wasn't expecting from the big oaf. As we approach the Fountain Square, I look around at the terraced buildings and walkways connecting to what I could only presume are restaurants and bars. Is it always this quiet? They look practically abandoned, honestly making the area a bit unsettling. No, nights in the district are normally quite busy. However, we've got a lockdown going on in hopes we can catch that fox from this morning. Did he do something wrong? He's built himself quite the reputation as a noble thief. I can hear the sarcasm in his voice. He rolls his eyes before continuing. If you ask me, he's a good-for-nothing troublemaker that has done nothing but repeatedly ensure the instability of the people we now govern over. Huh, so how come... I'm cut off from my speech as I hear a heavy slam of a gate. Both our heads naturally turn to the direction of the sound. We can hear multiple guards shouting, "Report!" I hear the large wolf bellow the order to a group of passing guards and one of them falls in. Fraser the Bandit has managed to slip through the east gate and escaped into Old Town. Oh, for fuck's sake! I can see the aggression radiating from him as he stares the guard down. Huskjar Skjold, I've been instructed to inform you that Huskjarl Geir has returned from his mission and he will be leading our squad in the capture attempt. I see the wolf's expression change. Just for a second, he lets his usually stoic appearance slip and I watch him break into childlike wonder. Before he remembers, he has the eyes of a prisoner and guardsmen upon him. See to it that the capture is completed promptly and effectively, and inform Geir that he is to report to my office after the attempt. He grabs my arm and pulls me along, giving the indication that it's time to move. I'll be leading the prisoner to the spire. The light of the torches and lampposts soon fade as we lead to the main square. I look up to the rafters, watching people close their windows and dull their lights as we pass, but I can still feel their eyes on me. At this point, I'm ready to admit that this is just something I have to get used to, but this feels different. This particular feeling of someone watching me is even more ominous than that of a predator stalking its prey. We're going to leave off here tonight. I'm back. I really like this game so far. Skjold, he is very huggable. He's very huggable. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.